This is the Lotus Bloom Podcast. And here's your host, Morgan Wiley.
Welcome back to another episode of the Lotus Bloom Podcast. I'm your host, Morgan Wiley. Where I am, we are in week 7 of self-quarantine / shelter in place. And I have to be honest, I am finding it challenging to keep creating and to stay focused. And I don't know how you all out there are doing, but I hope that you're finding ways to be creative, to have those outlets, and to keep pursuing the things that you're passionate about. Today, I am excited for this interview that I'm going to share with you for 2 reasons. One, because it's a story of a creative who is passionate about photography and loves what she does, and she's fantastic at it. And the other reason is because she is my sister. I have 2 sisters. For those of you who don't know, I'm in the middle. I have an older and a younger sister. And today we are going to talk with my older sister, Shawna Tomren. And I am really excited for you to get to know her. We had a few glitches and a few technical issues, which just seems to be the norm right now. It made us laugh a lot. We had a fun time, and I hope you enjoy the interview. And stay tuned for a blooper show. So, without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my older sister, Shawna Tomren. Hello, sister. Welcome to the show.
Hi, sister. Thanks for having me.
This is fun. Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad you were able to join me.
Yeah, this is exciting.
So for our listeners, will you introduce yourself and share about what you do?
Yeah, hi, I'm Shawna, and I'm a high school senior photographer in Northern California, in San Ramon to be exact. Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. For those that don't know, my older sister Shawna we're 7 years apart. So I had the opportunity to watch her go through different creative outlets over the years, and she first inspired me to start scrapbooking. You know, when scrapbooking was really big, and I loved that creative outlet, and it really fed my paper product need.
Totally.
And then she went into being a hairstylist, and I got to watch her do that, and then I've got to watch her transition into this new creative outlet with photography. So what brought you to this? What kind of started this outlet?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I was doing hair before, and I loved that. That was a very awesome creative outlet for me. Enjoyed it very much. I got pregnant with Ava, my middle child, and thought I had full intentions of going back to work doing hair. And living here in California, we were new to California, and I just didn't really have anyone that I trusted or that I knew that could watch her. And I had a full clientele, and decided the best thing for me was to stay home with her at the time. So I ended up giving that clientele to one of my friends that I worked with. We rented a space together. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, well, maybe I'll go back after she's a little bit older. And then I ended up getting pregnant with my son.
You had 3 at this point.
Yeah, so I had Jordan and Ava, and then I thought, well, I'll go back. And then I ended up getting pregnant with Brandon. Needless to say, I did not go back to work. I ended up being a stay-at-home mom, and I love that. But I was really missing that creative outlet. So that took me to some scrapbooking, which you mentioned. Lots of scrapbooking. I would go into Berkeley, where they had these all-night scrap fests, if you will, and we would scrapbook until
that's right.
Until like 2 a.m. And that was fun. There was a couple gals that I would travel with to do that, and that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that. It gave me that creative outlet that I needed. Yeah. And while doing that, you're taking pictures and you're scrapbooking pictures. So I just was like, these pictures, I want them to be different. Like, I need more detail in them, and I need them to be more exciting or something. So I just started taking better pictures of my babies, and, putting them out in the yard, and we get, just do fun little things with flowers and that kind of thing. And so that's kind of where that passion started. And I thought, well, I'm not going to be going back to doing hair, which I loved, but I was getting my creative fulfillment taking pictures.
Very cool.
Yeah. So fast forward, I decided to make a business of it because I loved it. And my friends were saying, can you take pictures of my kids? And, so I thought, I really enjoy this and I might as well be getting paid for it.
Absolutely.
So I started doing photography for families and newborns, and that was awesome. Loved it. Loved the little kids, loved everything about them and their little magical little things that they would do. But as you know, when I get into something, I go full on, dive head first into it. And so in my little studio in my house that I made, I had a bunch of little girls' clothes. I would just find things that I would love online because I wanted it to be more of that magical feeling. And I started buying all newborn stuff. I was taking all these newborn classes, all these creative classes, and loved it so much. But there was something that was a little off, and that was that my kids were getting older, and I felt like I just kept, maybe not going backwards. I'm not sure if that's the right thing, but I felt like everywhere I went, like if I was at Target, I saw a really cute little girl's dress or something, I would buy that thinking this would be great for my client. And I just started feeling like I was getting so involved and I guess going backwards, if that makes sense. My kids were getting older and they're teenagers now, my two middle ones. And I felt like I wasn't moving forward with them. I was kind of going back to, children, like infants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And not that I didn't love it anymore because I did, but again, like my studio being in my house, that's in our upstairs bonus room. And my son has his Xbox up there in a different area, of course. And I don't know, I just felt like I was kind of taking over the space with baby stuff and, newborn stuff and all the props and all the fun stuff. And I just decided I wasn't feeling as excited about it anymore, if that makes sense. But I still wanted to photograph. Like I still wanted to have that camera in my hand.
And how long did you do that for?
Oh my gosh, 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, as a business, I photographed for much longer than that, but as an actual business for 5 years. It was hard for me because I decided to transition into senior photography, but it took me a while to make that decision and really commit to it because I loved those families. Like I would take their family pictures for their Christmas cards, and then I would take maternity pictures, and then I would take their newborn pictures, and then I would take their second child, and so on and so forth. And so I really became, friends with these people.
Yeah.
And so it was really hard for me to cut the cord, if you will, with family and newborn photography, but I knew it wasn't fulfilling me, and it was kind of stopping. It wasn't fulfilling me in the way I needed it to because I was putting all the time and energy into it, but I wasn't feeling like I was getting that energy back, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and when you're taking time away from your family, it's important that whatever you're doing is worth it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So why seniors?
Oh my gosh, why seniors? They're so awesome. They really are. So it had started that I had, one of my families had an older girl, and I took her pictures, and I was like, you know what? This is so cool because not only am I getting that creative outlet, she's got so much energy that I'm like getting fed back, right? And it was just a lot more creative. Whereas a newborn, I could put them in these awesome little poses and these cute little knit outfits and, that, but I wasn't getting that, energy back that I needed to continue to do what I was doing. So, yeah, so it kind of just fell into place that I started last February. So this year, February 2020, has just been a full year that I've been doing seniors, and I absolutely love it. I mean, I can't tell you how much I love it.
Oh, that's so cool. And I think that's such an important point to being a creative, artistic person, that you need to have that give and take of the energy and being fed back to fulfill yourself so that you can keep giving and keep being creative with it in new, fresh ways, as opposed to it just being a business where, you just do the trade and it is what it is. You're a creative person and you need that coming back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very important because, like you said, you need to get that fuel back in your soul. You know, you're putting so much out there, and I think with a lot of creatives, I mean, I feel this way especially, that I just put my heart and soul into it because that's just who we are. We, you know, we just, if we're not going to give it 150%, we're not going to do it. And so to put all of that out there, to put your heart and soul into something, you've got to be able to feel like there's a little bit of give back. And that's what, and the give back is there with these girls. I mean, they're so appreciative, and they're just so fun and full of spirit and love and laughter and sassiness. And, you know, it's just fun. And there's, I have a team, I call it my model team. And that's how I started getting my clientele built up, is getting these girls that I knew in the area to be my models, basically, so that I could have get my portfolio built up.
Such a great idea.
Yeah. So, you know, they were girls that either I just knew, or moms that I knew that had older girls. And then also I got some from NCO, which is a national charity league that I'm a member of. And that was a great way to get clients and get recognized. So that was one way I did that. But I was going to segue to a girl. Her name is Bree, and she was so shy, but so I could just see, like, I need to have her in front of my camera. You know, she's just beautiful and lovely and everything. And not just lovely externally, but internally. And I'm like, I need to take pictures of this girl, but she's so shy, you know, I'm going to put her on my team. And so she was really hesitant. Like, she says, I want to do it, but I'm not very, you know, good in front of the camera. And I said, that's okay. I got you. We'll take care of this. And so to watch her transform is pretty amazing. So, you know, she was very uncomfortable, and I don't want to say awkward, but kind of a little bit awkward in front of the camera. I didn't know how to do much of anything, but that's one of my strengths. One of my superpowers is I'm able to help these girls relax and get comfortable and show them how to pose, if you will. And then basically it comes down to not really posing. It comes down to just snapping the camera at the right time. So, fast forward, we did about probably 3 or 4 creative shoots, is what I call them, where we just take them out and have fun, and we do some fun things. And then it came time for her actual senior session, and her mom was there, of course. And she's like, you know, I don't know, Bree's really shy. I don't know if she's going to want to, you know, do that, or, you know, I'm not sure how many good pictures we're going to get. And I said, oh no, we're great. Don't worry about it. We're fine. And so her daughter's out there just doing her thing. I didn't even have to say anything because she knew what my next move was.
Awesome.
And these little, what I call micro movements, where you're just barely moving, but it's the camera's catching a different version of you each time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just little micro movements. But anyways, Bree's doing this, and her mom's like, oh my goodness, who is this girl? You know? And I said, this is your daughter. Like, she is in there. This is her, you know? And I think that moment was just an exclamation to me that this is what I should be doing.
Yeah. Oh, that's neat.
Yeah.
It brings little tears to my eyes.
Yeah, no, and it's so great because these girls, some of them, they just don't have that confidence, and you see something that they don't know that they have inside them. So, and I saw that in her, even though she didn't know she had it, and now she's so thankful and grateful, and she says she didn't know she had that confidence. So that means the world to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's huge. Those are the moments that keep you going.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. That's it. I was listening to one of your other podcasts with you.
Hey, it's Morgan. This is one of those moments where the call got dropped. Shawna was just referring to episode 4 with Nicole Allen, as she shared her story of becoming a hairstylist and how Shawna could relate to that. And I'll let her finish the story.
Because I was a hairstylist as well, and telling the stories of the things that she's been through, that she just loves to make people feel special and feel good, and that's what fuels her. And that took me back to a story while I was doing hair. And I guess I'm saying this because I feel like this is a kind of a common thread through all of our lives here, that it keeps us going because we make people feel good on whatever level. And when I was doing hair, this gal came to me, and I want to say she was in her mid-50s. And she had really salt and pepper hair, had never colored her hair ever. I think I may have told you this story before, but she had never colored her hair. And she says, you know, I think I'm going to try it. Let's just do it. And I said, okay, I'm excited. Let's do this. And so we did. We colored her hair. And she was beautiful, very pretty skin, really pretty light blue eyes. And she looked at herself in the mirror after we colored her hair, and we both sat there and sobbed for about 30 minutes because she said, why have I waited so long? I look 20 years younger. And I didn't know this could be me. And it sounds superficial, just it's hair color, but it did something to her that made her feel like, oh my gosh, like it awakened something in her, right? Which awakened something in me. And we all feel, creative, and more than anything, making someone feel very special and like they can conquer the world. So I was just,
absolutely,
that just made me think of when I was listening to Nicole. So
yeah, no, that's great. I mean, I'm really in need of my roots being done right now, and I'm just thinking, okay, well, I can do this. I can still conquer the world.
I know.
I have to.
So, side note, I have my license still, so I can go.
Oh, you do?
I do. So I've kept it current, so I can go get hair color and stuff. And I stocked up when I knew that we were going to be, in quarantine, if you will. So I went and got my hair color because I was like, girls, you do not know. You do not want to see me with this hair because it's white. Like my roots are white. So yeah.
Oh, you should have let it go.
I know.
I want to see that. Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's segue into a little game if you're up for it.
Sure.
Okay, so we are going to play this or that. So I'm just going to name a couple different things, and you just say the first thing that pops into your head regarding those things.
Okay.
So, day or night?
Day.
Comedy or drama?
Ooh, that's tough. Drama?
Okay. Is that a question?
Yep.
Okay. Plane or road trip?
Plane.
Country or city?
Country.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Huh.
Okay. Beach or mountain?
Beach.
Fall or summer?
Summer.
Adventure or relax?
Oh dear. See, this is my Gemini right now. It depends. It depends on what day.
It depends.
Both.
Both. Okay. Lipstick or lip gloss?
Lipstick.
Pastels or brights?
Morgan, Deanne.
I got double named.
Oh dear. Are we talking clothes or anything?
Anything. Just colors.
Okay. Pastels.
Prints or neutrals?
Oh Lordy. I'm going to say prints because I'm trying really hard to change my neutral vibe.
Good for you. Jeans or yoga pants?
Jeans.
I did not know these were going to put such stress on you.
You know what? I'm so undecisive. You know that about me. I have a really hard time with things like committing to something like that because I'm very, like someone asked me the other day, what's your favorite color? And I said, oh my gosh, it used to be blue.
All of them?
Yeah. And I said it used to be blue, but I like pink too. But I also like shades of orange. And so anyways, I basically just said the rainbow. That's my favorite color.
The rainbow. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
80s or 90s?
80s.
Okay, so funny story or memory, I guess. I think it's probably late 80s or early 90s that I have this memory. So I'm not exactly sure which era it's in. I have this memory of you teaching me how to properly curl my bangs.
Nice.
Where you have, so we had the big bangs and you had like 3 different layers of curls where the back layer was curled backwards and then the middle and the front layers were curled forwards and then you teased them together to like make this blooming flower on the top of our head.
Yeah, I'm going to say that was probably late 80s, early 90s. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I don't know why, if this is even accurate, but I'm like envisioning Saved by the Bell.
Yeah, I love that memory. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's a fun one.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Fun game.
Oh, that's fun.
Okay, so from your Instagram stories, and we're going to set you up and share your your Instagram handle so people can see all your amazing photos because they really are fantastic. I love just looking at them. From your stories, though, I've seen where you have shared different, I'm not sure what the word is, I guess from your sessions, that you have a closet for your clients. Can you kind of talk about what that is or how that came about? That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that's the style closet. So
style closet, there it is.
Yep. So what I have is, well, things that are classic, things that are trendy, everything in between, basically. So that if you don't have something in your own closet, you can come go through the style closet and pick out something to wear for your senior session. You can just add accessories to your own outfit. So I've got a ton of accessories, earrings, necklaces, hats, all the fun stuff. So it's just to add to or to completely do your whole session. We usually do about 4 to 5 outfits per session if we can fit it in before sunset.
Okay.
Because we usually photograph 3 hours before sunset, 2 to 3 hours depending on the day. So yeah, so that's what that is. So I have my girls come to the house and come into my studio and we go through it and pick some stuff out. And it kind of came about that some photographers do that, not in my area that I know of yet. So I feel like that's unique to my studio in my area.
Okay.
But I have some friends in LA that have style closets, and actually one in particular, hers is amazing.
Very cool.
It's also to get your, so I can pick out an outfit that I want them to wear, and I kind of say, 3 or 4 outfits are for you and one's for me. And so that gives me my creative vision, because maybe their style might not be what I'm wanting to photograph, but I'm still going to photograph them because that's their style and this is their senior picture. But I'll be like, hey, why don't you put this on for me? Because they'd be like, oh, that's not something I would normally wear. I'm like, okay, that's cool, but let's do it for me. And they're all, every single one of them has been like, okay, cool. And we do it. And literally, Morgan, 9 times out of 10, that's the photograph they end up purchasing or using in their announcements, or because it's something that's maybe completely different from what they would see themselves wearing. But once they see what we've created with it, they love it. Yeah.
That's really cool. I had never heard of anyone doing that before. I love that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. It could be, be a problem if you get a little shopaholic situation, but that's okay.
Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah.
So what is it about the creative process that speaks to you the most? What is it that just really feeds that creative desire?
I think it's detail. And I think that, I don't know how to say this, but I think creative people see things differently than the average person. They see things a little deeper, maybe. And what it is about the photography is like just a particular look that a girl will be looking at me and just her eyes will give me a different feeling. It's I don't know, it's hard to explain, but it's just a feeling that I get through the lens, and I can see, I don't want to be corny and say I can see into her soul, but it's something that gives,
but something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I mean, okay, let's be corny. That's what it's like.
Let's bring it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, it's something that, and it's almost addictive. And so that's why I love to do it, because each person is different. And you just get to see a side of that person that they may not show to people on the everyday, or they may not know that they had it in them to begin with, like I mentioned the girl earlier. So I don't know. I think that's what kind of feeds me, and it's always changing because everybody's different. So it's not the same thing, because I get bored really easily.
Yeah, I could see how those details, because like you said, they would always be changing, and it almost would be exciting to kind of figure out what it might be with the next client that would speak to you. And
and it pushes me, and I feel challenged. Like they challenge me, because I'm open, and I say this when we do our first little get together or our first little talk. I say, hey, I am completely open to your ideas too. So this isn't just me telling you what to do. I want you to tell me if you have any ideas. And they all have something that, oh, how about this? Or what if we do this? And it's amazing because it teaches me each time. I learned something.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So do you have people in your life that inspire you in this endeavor, or that have maybe even mentored you in certain aspects?
I do. Yeah. I went to a really awesome workshop in last November. It was called the Next Senior Model Summit, and that was in LA. And you may have seen pictures on my Instagram about that in my stories.
I did. It looked really cool.
And Tara Rochelle Photography is one of my mentors. I adore her. I think she's amazing, creative, genius. So learning from her was, I can't even describe it. It was just like mind blowing. Like I loved every minute of it. Yeah, it was so perfect. And I went there by myself in LA and rented a car, and I thought, this might be scary, driving through LA and having to find the locations and stuff, because we were meeting them at certain locations. And I found myself super empowered though. Like I wasn't afraid. And normally I don't like to drive like in city traffic like that. It really bothers me. Like I don't even like to drive in San Francisco, which is close to my house. But I was like, I felt so empowered. Like I was like, this is
awesome.
My journey. I was like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? And I knew that I was going to be surrounded by people, other creative women that were doing there for the same thing. They wanted that knowledge. They wanted to be near people that were successful. So it was, I just loved it so much. Like I can't wait to do it again.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think that there's something to in any different field about whether it's a conference or on any level, if it's a huge one or even just more of a small, intimate, almost mastermind type, I think there's something to the synergy of having like-minded people in the same area and room and feeding off each other. And I love that. I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. Very important.
So as we all know, we are in a very different time in our world, very uncertain and scary time with the COVID-19. So for you and your business, how has this affected you?
Wow. Yeah, that's a sad one. Because I deal with high school seniors, they are not able to be at school right now. And that is hard for them because this is their last year of high school. And this is the last couple months. We get out we're supposedly supposed to get out May 29th is their graduation day. And so this is the time that they're having their, senior picnics and their senior days and their senior walk and all that. So all of that's being taken away from them because of this COVID-19, because we have to be shelter in place and quarantined. So I've found that it's hit me a little harder than maybe I would have thought originally, because I'm so close to these girls and I'm feeling their sadness. They're pretty much all of them are involved in sports or dance or cheer. And so all of these end of the year, the end of the year culmination of all their sporting events and all the stuff they've worked so hard for these last 4 years and beyond,
Right.
I don't really know if I have the words for it. It's just really hard. And as far as affecting my business, obviously I can't photograph them, so I'm not able to work right now. But more importantly, they're not getting their senior pictures. So that, that's a bummer. So I'm hoping that we can get through this, and I've promised them all that I will take their senior photos regardless, like even if it's before they leave for college, I'm hoping that we aren't so quarantined in the middle of summer. That's
God, I hope not.
I mean, we may all lose our minds.
Right.
And so, I've tried to keep, obviously I've kept communication with them, and I've tried to do some fun things on my Instagram with them where they've been taking over my Instagram stories and that kind of stuff, just to, keep them in my thoughts and in, the forefront. So financially, I'm lucky that I have, my husband is the main breadwinner in our family. So that hasn't been a huge impact for us financially. But again, it's the fact that the girls aren't getting their senior pictures done.
Yeah. And I know you care so much. I mean, I can see that.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I feel like they're like my own kids. So it's been like heartbreaking for me, for them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Are you personally finding ways to exercise your creative needs and finding outlets for those?
Yeah, I have a lot of education that I haven't watched yet that I've purchased, and I haven't sat down to actually get it done because I've been so busy. But now I've got this extra time on my hands, and so I'm starting to get, so that's been awesome. So I've been able to go through, and some of it I've looked at again, which helps you. You always learn something the second time around. You always learn more. Mm-hmm. And just playing around with editing and some things that I haven't had time to do. And so, yeah, that's been great.
Good.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you would like to share about your journey or the creativity of photography or anything at all?
Just basically, I think it's important if you have that drive and that feeling in your soul that you need to create. I think you should make the time to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's important, especially as a mom, I've been a mom for a long time. My oldest, like I said, is 24, and I think that she's obviously left the nest and got married and has a baby. And my other two are teens. I have a freshman in high school and then one in middle school. And so I think more important for me now more than ever, I should say, is that you need to have that something for yourself, because they're kind of doing their own things. They're involved with their friends and their activities. And, now more than ever, I feel like I need this in my life just to help me feel like I'm fulfilling myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Shawna, thank you so much for taking your time and sharing with us. If people want to check out your photos, where would you like them to go? I know you have a website and your Instagram.
Yeah. So my Instagram is at Shawnas Seniors, SHAWNAS, and then Seniors, SENIORS. And then my website is shawnaseniors.com.
Awesome. And we'll make sure and put that in the show notes so it'll be easy to link to.
Okay.
Thank you so much. We've had a blast.
Thank you.
And it was so fun to share this with my sister.
Yes, I love it.